And to start off, I'd like to say, as the person who created this whole Narco content in English on YouTube, or at least started it, I feel my opinion is definitely worth something. And when I feel someone constantly disrespecting people who have died, living that life, I'm not saying they're good people, I'm not saying they're extremely bad people, though lots of them were, we should at least tell the truth about the life they lived, right? I feel that as we're making a living, and investing all our time in this, the least we can do on their part, considering we're making it off their life story, right? And the things they did, is be truthful about it. Now, I was originally really nice and supporting to this person originally in comments and only gave positivity, but after watching some of their videos, I was truly speechless how disrespectful and how far off they are and wrong about everything. And I'm going to give you guys a list of specific things that just blew my mind. And it's nuts because I originally wrote this person an email as well a couple months ago when I first kicked this channel off. I think I wrote everybody who did this type of content on YouTube, seeing if people would help me promote the channel and stuff. And I wasn't really lucky, but I would have never asked this person that if I would have known how far off their content is. I would have been embarrassed later if they would have given me a shout out and then I found out how crazy that is, right? But that is the world. Now, to start off with, I only watched three of his videos because I couldn't do any more than that. And I figured that would be more than enough to give you guys a good enough example. So, with the Broly Banderas video, it was said he's a ladies' man and all that in that video. But he's actually openly homosexual. He had a transvestite wife, and he posted with her constantly on social media. Can't remember what his social media was. I don't really use social media, but constantly. So he definitely was not a ladies' man or anything like that of what it said in the video. The next one I'd really like to get into is Taito Arajo. I personally have gone to his grave several times, have videos there, and even though you could say he was my enemy at one time, I still have lots of respect for him. So that's why I'd like to say about his video. His dad, Chayo Raho, was never believed to have been murdered, even though it says that in the video. Everyone always knew it was because he killed Miles' compadre, which is something that was not said in the video. And because of him killing Miles' compadre, that caused his death. Now, that's why I said that it was never an accident or other things that they were trying to say. It was just really far off. On top of that, the Beltran Leyva cartel was never disbanded. Quite the opposite. They're still operating until right now to this moment and have several strong points. Though they are shelled of what they were at one time, they are making a strong comeback as far as Hermoso Mito uh, just being released from prison shortly. I think I did a video on that not too long ago. Now, also it says he was involved in all types of things. He was not involved in human trafficking or there's some of the other things I said. He was mainly focused on being a sicario and operate in the Plaza of Culiacan. That was his main deal. As well in that video, it says Chapo was the leader of the Sinaloa cartel. He was never the leader of the Sinaloa cartel. If you want to consider it like a mafia structure, he might have been the equivalent to an underboss to Mayo. And Mayo's always been the true boss. Even Chapo's lawyer gave a statement from Chapo saying that Mayo's always been the boss, that he was an employee. Now, I was actually in Culiacan during 2008, during a lot of these times when things are spoken on, so I kind of take it personal. They're extremely disrespectful that someone like a warrior like Chaito Rajo was, people can't even get their facts straight, take the time to do things right. And I hate speaking bad about somebody, and I try to keep this channel positive and don't point people out that often, but this is definitely an exception. So, on the Manuel Torres video, and this one I took more personal than anything because he represented a lot, as far as respecting the family and women and children. I think that's why I related more to him than anything. He really stood for that, and that's something I think is correct to stand for. I think that business should be in between men and the people who are involved in it shouldn't affect innocence. With that being said, he was never one of Chapo's most loyal gunmen. like he stated. That was never the case. He was loyal to and exclusively working for who else but Miles Zambada. You know, it's very simple. Now, on top of that, he was never delivered dead, and there was never rumors of that. The true story, even though that's what they said in the video that he was delivered dead, the true story is that he died fighting soldiers and actually killed several of the soldiers in the firefight. There's actually a video of the soldiers coming down in the helicopter on that mission. So, you know, it's taken by someone else, a civilian, and the soldiers are going down the rope doing like a tactical drop down. But point being, definitely didn't die like that. There was nothing sinister. And the thing about his bones being broken and stuff, I'm sure the soldiers beat the crap out of him when they got there. You know, they just probably beat him to shreds. He was probably very wounded by bullets after the gunfight with them. He held them off as well so his men could escape, as well as wounding several soldiers. Now, with all that being said, there's also rumors of him knocking down a helicopter that day. I can't confirm that personally. I'm just telling you what people say. But he definitely didn't die in that way. And the last one, the one I took most personal, would be Chino Antrax's video. Um, so I think that's four, even though one of them was just one quick fact was Broly Van there, so I wouldn't consider that a whole video. That was just something I saw right off the top. So three I actually watched and went into, and one just a point out, something I thought I'd point out off the top. So in the Chino Anthrax video, he was not born in Culiacan. That's a common myth, if you want to call it that, or thing that people assume, I think, because he's part of the Anthrax and working for Miles Zambada, which is not true. He was actually born in Mexico City, if you look into it. On top of that, Mayo isn't a high-ranking kingpin in the Sinaloa cartel. He's the boss. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So Chino's loyalty, on top of that, was never to Chapo. It was always exclusively to Mayo, which is something that was also stated in this video by Worth the Hype. Chino Anthrax was only working for Mayo, and everybody knows that. And in fact, it was Chapo's sons who ended up causing his death, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Also, he was never Chapo's aide, as you stated in the video, which is just ridiculous. If you know, the Sinaloa Cartel is a federation of different groups that have always kind of worked together to help each other out. But usually the people, especially the lieutenants, are extremely exclusive to one group and compartmentalized. But if you don't do your research, you wouldn't know that, would you? So Chino, as well, didn't order the murder of Francisco Ariel Felix, as you stated. It was murdered by Miles Zambada, mainly due to, I think, the deaths of Miles' family members that were in a hotel. A lot of his in-laws were murdered. I think that's what that revenge is based on. Chino definitely planned and participated in the murder, but he was not the one who ordered it. It was definitely from higher up. You know, if someone is a lieutenant or anything in the cartel, they're not the ones ordering it. Everything's ordered from up above, or permission, the green light's given from up above in general to do an operation. It's not his decision or anything like that. It's not how the mafia or any cartel works. Unless someone's working, you know, just on their own, doing what the hell they want, just killing people, which means they usually don't live long because the boss finds out and takes care of it. On top of that, you said he died a traitor, which is just disgusting, especially for someone who doesn't live here, who doesn't know anything. You should be very careful what you say about people, especially in this YouTube genre more than any other. There are YouTubers that have disappeared and things have happened to them before for insulting people's family members or saying lies about people, especially people here in Culiacan, talking about people here in Culiacan. I'm not saying people live here in Culiacan. People, things can happen anyone anywhere. And that's just friendly advice. You know, if you're going to be making these videos, you should be very careful to say the truth. They don't get so angry about you exposing what happened or talking about it. It's when you lie about it and put out false information. That's a big no-no, my friend. And I don't know why I said my friend. It just came out. Now, he died because of a fight originally with Chapo's son Ivan that went down in a nightclub where he got the best of Ivan. You know, Ivan never forgave him for that or let it go. Ivan actually asked Mayo to hand Chino over, and Mayo denied that. He said he wouldn't do it. And that was the cause of a big rift in the Sinaloa cartel, was the moment Mayo denied to hand Chino over. On top of that, when Chino came back after escaping, that was the first thing on Ivan's mind was to kill him because Ivan already knew about the betrayal that he was going to do to Mayo, and taking out Chino was going to greatly facilitate everything, considering he was one of the most loyal, well trained, and well organized Sicario bosses that would be able to lead a united front against the Chapos. And that's that, and that's the truth. And it's a shame this channel decided to take this route, but worth the hype, isn't worth the hype. Not at all. And this is the first thing I've ever done on this channel like this. I just felt it so disrespectful that someone can do so little research and put so little time and so little care into a subject that's so important as far as bringing awareness and letting people know what the truth is that happened. And when you put out all these things that are wrong, it just causes people to lose faith in the information in general and everyone else's channel because they're like, oh, I heard this video, oh, that was wrong. I heard this video, oh, all those videos are wrong. You see, that's what happens. In general, the genre, like all those narco channels in English, they're all garbage. That's what will happen eventually. Especially if more channels like this come out. And that's not what I'd like to happen. I'd like for this genre to have credibility and for people to take it serious because it's a very serious thing we're doing here and speaking on. In fact, one of the most important, if not the most important, probably genres in YouTube that I know of. Not to say the issues here are more important than anywhere else in the world, but the issues here are definitely just as important as anywhere else in the world. More so, no, but just as important, most definitely so. So please smash on the like button, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Like I said, I like to keep it positive, but this one just kind of irks me because I put so much time and actually lived that life and was involved in it. And to hear someone telling lies and not even doing research on anything they did, on top of pronouncing every little thing wrong, it just drives me nuts. So, sale vale hasta la próxima, mira, si te lo sabes. Ando pendiente.